everybody, welcome to Arsenal X. I'm your host, Eddie V. As always, we throw up the X. Look at Corey, because we about to throw down. How is everybody doing? Hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. Got to spend time with family and friends. Got some good shopping in. Got some good sleeping time in. And definitely got some good gaming on. Joining me is my wise Wisconsinite, Mr. Jesse Douglas. I can't stand you, but I love it. And as always, my beautiful boss man, Mr. Corey Dirrig.
Hi.
Hi. We just talking earlier, and I just have the giggles. I just have to laugh. So we just had a good discussion.
Oh, before we go into everything,
yes,
there's an update for those who listened to Arsenal X last week or the expansion pass and heard me complain about the Sony customer service. I got my refund, so
yay!
Nice.
And then I turned around and bought 3 months of PlayStation Plus.
I can't with you, but God bless. But that's what we had to do.
Hey man, it's not about what I was using the money for. It's about they did
the principle.
Yeah. I should have just turned around and bought 12 months anyway, just to. It's okay. Stick it to the man.
Well, congratulations, Corey, for getting your 3 months of PSN. Because
thanks.
I literally need to do that for because they're gonna take 120 out, 64 Xbox. No, yeah, 64 Xbox and 64 PSN. I'm like, I need to do this now. I need to fix it. So, but before we get into the show, as always, what's in our arsenal? I'm actually gonna start with you, Corey, because usually I start with Jesse, but Corey, I'm starting with you. What's in your arsenal, dude?
Oh, geez. Well, Xbox wise, Assassin's Creed Origins.
Yes.
I was very excited for this game, but wasn't expecting anything. I wasn't really expecting anything of it because it's it's Assassin's Creed. I thought it was okay, I'm in for another kind of janky open world experience where I have to follow some people and escort some people and then die while I'm doing those missions and get really frustrated. But man, it's in my game of the year discussion. This game is amazing. Dude, Byuk and Aya are some of the coolest characters in video games. It's not just it's typical Assassin's Creed, you're murdering people with sweet weapons and stuff, but and Ed, you'll notice this probably in about 3 or 4 hours, because I know you just kind of just started. But dude, their relationship is more convincing than anything I've ever seen. Just the way they feel about each other and have each other's backs and love each other, and they would literally do anything for each other. And man, that relationship, exploring that relationship and the story that's going on in this game is just it's their relationship is really genuine, which is really hard to pull off in games.
Yes.
And it's just I love it so much. I love this game so much. And I love the RPG aspects of it, and it's it's ridiculous how much the loot system and the equipment screen looks like Destiny, because it's got your weapons and stuff on one side and your gear and how you upgrade. It's just it's very Destiny, and it's oh, okay. And the combat is very Dark Souls, so they switched a lot of stuff up, and I just, man, this game, the world is cool, and
the map is crazy.
Yeah, the
big.
map is huge. You look, my clock time is 18 and a half hours. I just checked, 18 and a half hours, and I'm only in the 4th area. And Ed, you zoomed out on that map. There's probably 20 areas.
Yes,
and it's I really hope and it's because I'm trying. I've literally gone to every question mark, every monument location, every landmark location, every quest location, every side quest location. Like, I'm literally clearing out every section of the map before I move on to the next part. And
Yeah.
it's like I'm already like a level 19. So like, and I'm only in the 4th area, and I think the cap is like 40. So
Wow.
gosh, I love this game so much. It's, if you were to rank it in the Assassin's Creed games for me, like,
I think it's number one.
I
think
might be number 1 or a close second behind Black Flag. But like, even then, like, this is the Black Flag team, so like, dude, I love this game so much. It's
I in the series, I will probably rank it number one because, like I was telling you guys, like, this gives me Prince of Persia vibes from the GameCube PS2 days.
Yeah, and like, speaking of Prince of Persia, I found 2 Prince of Persia references in this game already, including the outfit, which is the Persian Prince outfit, which is essentially the outfit from, it's not from Sands of Time, it's from Warrior Within, the dark one that he wears in Warrior Within, but like with a hood, with like a black hood. Oh, dude, it looks so cool. It looks so cool.
I gotta find it.
So
I gotta get that.
And there's like a lot of references to Persia in it, because it's kind of takes place after like the real historical event of, you know, the movie 300, like that historical event. They tie that history into this game, as well as like the Greek history and then the Egyptian history. Like, they all kind of come to a head, and like, I know it all takes place in Egypt, but like the Greek architecture, the Persian influences, the Egyptian like landscapes. Oh my gosh, dude, this game, like, I'm so glad they did not rush this game out last year, and like they actually gave them the extra year, because like, man, it's cool. It is.
Well,
so
this
cool.
is what everybody's been asking. They were just like, "Don't annualize this series," because in a way, it was getting stale, and people were just like, "Give this game time to breathe, and work on give it time, work on it, make something new, make it fresh." And I think they did a fantastic job of doing it.
Yeah, and like, dude, I really hope Ubisoft eventually, and I know they have like a collectible statue of Bayek that's like $80 on their store, but like, I hope they make a statue that's like a Byuk and Aya statue together, like them back to back, like they are in a lot of this game, because like, these are like, honestly, it's close to being like topping Horizon for me, and for that second spot in my games of the year. Because not because of the way the game plays or feels or anything, but because of like, you know, Aloy was such a great character, but she didn't really have a lot of interactions with people, or like, you know, the people that she had interactions with, like, you just move on to the next set of people to have interactions with. Whereas like Bayek and Aya are like together all the time, and watching their relationship grow as they kind of start forming this alliance to kind of take on the the Egyptian, like the pharaohs, the heads that like are trying to overthrow the pharaoh and stuff. Like, yeah, dude, their relationship puts this game in my game of the year discussion based on that.
I haven't got to that part yet, because I've started doing the side quests, but I really can't wait to get it. You're making me hyper, because I hope this relationship knocks it out, because I'm probably gonna be on Twitter or Facebook, be like, Corey, you were right.
Yeah, and like this game, if you own anything that can play this game, like even if you just listen to the show and you don't own an Xbox, like if you have a PC or PS4 or something, please play this game. Like, yeah, it's like it doesn't control the best. It's not the best controlling game I've ever played, but like once you get the feel for the controls and kind of like the movement and stuff, and the climbing and everything, like I've only done the notorious Assassin's Creed jump off a wall to your death one time, just once, and like that's it. And I'm just like, man, this game, please play this game. And like, you find it on sale find it used. I don't care how you find this game. Just play it. Like, just give it 10 or 15 hours if you don't want to play the whole thing. It's worth watching their relationship unfold and, like, seeing how, like, where I'm at right now, I can kind of see how the Assassin's Guild is forming and, like, the quote the origins of the Assassin's Brotherhood, and, like, you can see how the different heads of this secret organization are kind of forming the Templars and whatever. Like, you can kind of see it without them actually calling them. Like, I haven't heard the word Templar or Assassin yet, but the object that they've been using is the apple, right? From the first, the first trilogy of games, right? So, like, it's there without being referenced as, like, oh man. But then when you get outside the Animus, like, I forget what the girl's name is that you're playing as, but she's not, like, super important yet in the story. So, but you can go to her laptop and read all the files on the previous assassins and, like, Desmond and some, like, Subject 17, which is a really big part of Black Flag and Revelations and stuff. So, like,
which I have a question. Is her part the future of Assassin's Creed after the original trilogy? But she's played just the beginning on how everything started.
Well, this is the game itself takes place after Syndicate, but, like, Unity and Syndicate, if you're gonna skip games, like, Black Flag was the last game that had any real meaning behind the present day stuff. Whereas, like, basically, like, Unity and Syndicate, like, the story advanced a little bit, but not enough to be like, oh, I gotta play through this game to figure out what the present day stuff is. But this game is the first game since Black Flag to really have any significant impact in the present day, and it feels like this character, man, I wish I could remember her name, but, like, it feels like they're setting her up to be the new Desmond, and they're going to follow her through this next series of games. So,
okay.
But yeah, Assassin's Creed Origins is by far, in a year of fantastic games, is definitely one of the best games I've played this year. So, definitely recommend
it's always, I was going to say, it's always good, too, that, like, whenever a game gets held back, or delayed and then ends up being a really, really big hit, and people go out and support it and hopefully get it across to developers or businesses that own or run developments to say, hey, look at how well this did because they took their time. So maybe think about letting some of these companies have a little bit of time to get stuff done, because it always sucks when you're so looking forward to a game coming out and they rush it out and it ends up just bombing.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's
kind
of like what we have going on with what's it? I can't. My brain right now.
Call of Duty.
But no, what's the one coming out? The for Xbox.
Oh, Crackdown.
Crackdown, yeah. Like with it was really bad in that showing that they had, and it's a good thing that they're kind of gonna let them take more time to hopefully fix it and make a better game. So
yeah.
So.
But yeah, man.
It's just.
Sorry, Jesse, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, no. I was just gonna say it's just that this Assassin's Creed is just a perfect example of why sometimes it's good when games get delayed.
Yeah.
Well, did Assassin's Creed get delayed? I don't think this game got delayed.
This was the game that was supposed to come out last year, and then they gave it a whole year for polish, and then they ended up releasing the Ezio collection port last year, and then the movie.
Oh, okay.
So, which, by the way, those games are really dated. The Ezio collection, like, Man, especially like 2 and Brotherhood. Oh, those games are super dated. They just feel awful to go back and play, even though they're like only a generation old or whatever.
Yeah.
Whew.
Wow. Well, anything else, Corey, that you played?
If in terms of Xbox, like I was continuing to play Rise of the Tomb Raider, and then Assassin's Creed is literally Assassin's Creed and Zelda Master Trials have sucked up all my time. I'm trying to chip away at the Master Trials, but like, dude, this game has just sucked up all my time, all my free time. This game has sucked up.
I think I'm gonna try to finish it while I play Xenoblade Chronicles X 2.
Yeah,
or Xenoblade 2, because I'm surprised on how good it is. But I'll talk about it later. Anything else, Corey?
No. I mean, I've got a couple things lined up to play just for like next week's show, just because like I don't want to like keep talking about the same games, but.
Okay.
I mean, I'm trying to get everything ready for our Game of the Year discussion for NGR, and I'm trying to get everything ready for, I know we're doing the buyer's guide stuff for Switch and probably Xbox One. I think we're going to probably try to do one on too.
Yes.
So, like, and I'm, like I said, on PAL Block, I am taking some time off from, we're only going to do one PAL Block a week. I'm going to do my best to make it to Arsenal X the rest of the year, but like, I'm trying to finish up some writing projects that I've been working on, and I mean, it's not just reviews and stuff, it's stuff that doesn't have anything to do with NGR, so plus that one thing I told you about, Ed, that I've been doing research on, like the video stuff.
Yes.
I really am thinking really hard about that, so that's also on my list of things. So like, my absence won't be too long, only till like the rest of the year, but like, I'm gonna do my best to make it here. But just because like I love you guys, and this show is, I like talking about other things besides Nintendo, and I love NGR Radio, and I know Matt and Moose aren't listening, but like, how they get when they start talking about Bloodborne and music. It's just kind of like I zone out a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I love you guys. I played Bloodborne a little bit. I'm almost finished it. It's taken me 3 years to finish that game, but I'm almost there.
I'm going to keep that in my backlog.
But nothing else really. Assassin's Creed, man. I cannot explain how great this game is.
I think we'll have a progress report kind of show on it. Hopefully one day.
Mm-hmm.
Jesse, we're waiting for you. You'll get it, or someone will gift it to you.
Yeah. So I've been what's nice about with Assassin's Creed is I'm kind of noticing a trend similar to when Breath of the Wild came out,
mm-hmm.
where a lot of people right now are talking about it. Like, people are posting pictures of them playing it and stuff like that. So that's always a good sign for a game.
Well, when it came out, there was just some. I mean, Odyssey took reins the day that it came out. I mean, Wolfenstein 2, and like that was a triple threat of a day of great gaming, just all across for any platform. And I think Odyssey just took a lot of priority for a lot of people, and now they're getting back into some of those great AAA games. But what's in your arsenal, Jesse?
As far as Xbox, I've got a couple of new games that I've just kind of tried a little bit. I played a little of Injustice 2, and I'm enjoying that so far. This is the first fighting game that I've played like in a while, because when it comes to fighting games, it's really gotta be unique and different for me to really be interested in it. And we spoke for a good 45 minutes about the turtles coming to it, so I'm looking
yes.
looking forward to that, to playing as the turtles and
I'm getting that
again.
game. I'm getting that game for Christmas, so maybe we'll have to do a let's pod and play of Injustice 2 and like kind of talk about it.
You're getting it for one, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Dude, I've decided that like my PlayStation's gonna be like my exclusive machine, pretty much, and like, you know, unless like a bunch of my friends are getting games like Destiny for it, which like, yeah, I bought it for both. I'm sorry, I did, but it's pretty much my exclusive machine, I think. So like, I mean, I'm excited for a lot of PlayStation games. Don't get me wrong. Like God of War, I am so thrilled that there's a new God of War game coming out. And I know, Ed, you have feelings about God of War, but like,
I'll wait for the reviews for next year.
I'm so excited for that stupid game, you know. So like, I'm hoping it's at least half as good as Horizon, and I'll be happy. And you know, I think Kojima's new game is going to be interesting, even though it's like 35 years away, and probably be playing it with a microchip in our brains. But you know, I have always said this to where like I prefer Xbox Live. I prefer my Xbox controller. I prefer like the weight of the controller. Oh, another thing. I finally ordered a chat pad for my Xbox One controller. So like I'm gonna have that heavy weight distribution bottom that I loved about the 360 controller finally. Oh, thank you God. I bought one. So but yeah, like I'm gonna play everything on my Xbox. Like, even though that said, like Assassin's Creed is like it chugs sometimes. Like when you get in an environment where there's a lot going on, like it dips till probably like 15 frames a second sometimes while it's trying to catch up. But like, you know, you just gotta like wait for it to get that extra oomph before it catches up to itself. But like, and it does that weird thing where like sometimes Byuk is running at a smooth 30 frames a second, but things like 5, 10, 15 feet in front of you are running at a lower frame rate, and then the things behind that are running at a lower frame rate because it's trying to keep the action that's close to you, you know, at a good frame rate because the other things in the background don't really matter when you're fighting off 3 or 4 soldiers. But like when you're riding your camel through town and you just see this bird like slideshow across your screen, you know, so like that right there is like, maybe I should save up for an X at some point. But
it's comedy, Jake.
Yeah, well, yeah, like, but like, what happened to you last night? Ed had like
I'll tell it when it comes to my turn.
Okay.
Anything else, Jesse?
Yeah, I also started Evil Within and got like to the kind of the first, you know, your first goal of the beginning of the game was to, you know, to get past the dude with the chainsaw and try to get to the elevator. I got it that far and then just kind of stopped it because then we were going to start recording the show and stuff, and of course I went back to Siege again and had to play that a little bit this week, and I went back to Tomb Raider definitive edition to kind of see where I was at on that game, and found out that even all that time that I've put in, I'm still got a long ways to go. So I think I'm gonna start picking that up a little bit more frequently here too, and try to get some more into that game. And then I ended up playing some Agents of Mayhem and just kind of going back on that again since I picked that game up. So got a lot of new games to start playing again. So
yes. So for me, what's been in my arsenal, Fire Emblem Warriors for my Switch. Since I'm done with Odyssey at the moment, pick that up. Love the game, love the fighting, the art style, everything is just so great about that game. Really love it. For PS4, been playing Final Fantasy 12, the Zodiac Age. I'm halfway done with that game. Grinding a lot. Just loving the battle and love the fact that they made it faster with this 2 times speed options that you can run fast and everything. Now I'm waiting to buy haste in Hestega so I could just like really make my my characters quick. And one of my friends beat this guy called this boss called Yizamat. He has 50 health bars. And so the fight could actually take you about 5 to 6 hours to beat him because it's that long.
Cow.
Like, yeah, he doubles up his power, and it basically, like, if he does one hit, you could get killed. Like, it is intense, but he actually beat him. He got the trophy for it, so so happy about that. But yeah, okay, so Assassin's Creed Origins, ADV's playthrough, I should say. So I installed the game, everything is ready to go. I pop it in, the Ubisoft thing, comes up with a new update and all of this stuff. Start the game. I'm playing it on normal. I think you're playing on easy, Corey, just for the story.
For Assassin's Creed, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I'm playing it on normal. And I press start. The game loads. You see all this I don't know how to describe it. Like it's in another world. Like it's transformed. You supposed to be transferred you into Egypt.
It's like the Matrix. It's like the Egyptian version of the Matrix, pretty much.
Matrix. Yeah. And my game goes black. No loading screen. It just stays black. And I'm waiting close to 3 minutes. And I'm talking to Corey while this is happening. Literally talking to him while this is happening. I had to stop the game. I had to go to the home menu and actually quit the game. I started back up. It does the Matrix thing again. It loads the cutscene. Okay, yes, I'm into the game. I'm enjoying it. I'm learning it. Finding stuff. Get to, I would say, you meet this other character, and they're teaching you how to use a bow. So I'm using the bow, doing headshots. Be like, great, got this. Well, I'm stuck in the bow animation during the cutscene, and then after the cutscene. So I'm like this, moving around like this. And it's just like, oh, I got to move. And when I duck, I'm still in the bow animation. Had to go back to the home game, quit the game, go back in for everything to work. And it's just like, this is comedy jank. But I wasn't mad I didn't get mad about it. I didn't yell at the game. I was just like, okay, hopefully they patch this because this is Assassin's Creed Unity craziness right here. But I started playing the game, started doing some hunting for my gear, doing the fight combat. I kind of do wish that he rolled back almost like Kratos from not Gears of War, for God of War. I think I kind of wanted that dodge kind of action. Mm-hmm. But the dodge is fine. I guess
he
the
does
dodge
this weird,
is
like
fine.
he does like these 2 moves before you actually dodge roll. Like,
yeah,
it's like this crawl and then like this slide, and then he does this dodge roll. It's like this really weird thing that they decided to do, which I wish it was just like this. I wish it was just the dodge roll.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like that's like a minor complaint about the controls for me. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. So it was enjoying the game, did some hunting, got my and I'm doing a side quest, and probably after the show I'll finish the side quest that I was doing because I almost fell asleep with the game running on. But I ran into some hyenas, and the hyenas were a higher level than me, and I killed them all. Took their fur and made like a guard for my arm. Like I updated, and I kind of like that update system that they tell you the stuff that you need to get to upgrade it. So it's like in order where you don't have to keep collecting stuff and then spread it around. It's just like, okay, if you meet this requirement, because this is what you need to get, then you could go ahead and upgrade it. Next, this is what you need to upgrade to next. Like they make it organized so that you're able to go to those areas to get the ammo and the resources that you need to buy it. I think I was telling Corey the one problem that I do have is that because it's too bright, and it might be me because I cut up the little brightness to see some things. The yellow is kind of distracting. The yellow wording is kind of distracting, and since the reticle is white, you could barely see it when you're moving around.
Especially when it's like really sunny out and like, you know, like not like when the sun's like right above you, but like when it's either rising or setting, like that's the worst. Oh, and that's usually the time I'm like trying to get somewhere, and you're still in that first area, right? So like, once you hit like, I'd say like the second area when you really start seeing the bigger buildings, and like even Alexandria, which is the third area, like you start not to notice that stuff so much because the buildings are so tall that they kind of block the rising and setting sun, and the buildings are kind of like colorful and you know, block a lot of that, so it's easier to see that stuff. But yeah, that first area, I remember like it really being like, man, this is gonna be rough. I hope this isn't the whole game, but I didn't notice it after I got to that second area. So
yeah, I think I'm gonna do a lot of the takedowns when I can, because they weren't too bad or anything. And I keep forgetting to press the RB and RT on the controller to do like the finishing move. It's so weird just pressing those two buttons to do it.
Yeah, there's a legacy mode. There's like a legacy control mode though, where you can press X and Y instead of R1 and R2 or RB and
RT.
Yeah. Sorry, I had to think of the triggers.
Yeah. So, but I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I agree with Corey. It really is Game of the Year material nominated. It's not mine just yet, because I picked up some more games, but it's high up there. I think this is one of the best Assassin's Creed, and I think when we have the discussion, I think me and you, Corey, are probably going to agree on a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so that's been in our arsenal. Now, usually at this point we would do Arsenal news, but because it was the holiday weekend for Thanksgiving, there wasn't much news. So we're going to be playing a game, a new segment.
I do not like this because I do not sell things.
Everybody, we're heading into a example, and today's game is
I hate you so much
Resell Retail. The object of the game is that Corey and Jesse will each be given 3 games. They will have 3 minutes to sell the games to me. So I am a new Xbox owner. So I gave each of them a chance for one game that they could do research on, but they won't know what the 2 other games are. So I'm going to start with Corey with his game. Now, Corey picked the number 2, which was Vex, a game back in the Xbox, PS2, and GameCube days. So your other 2 games, Corey, are Sonic the Hedgehog 06.
I can't sell anybody on that game.
Listen, you have Sonic the Hedgehog 06, Vex, and Rise of the Tomb Raider.
I want to sell Rise of the Tomb Raider.
So you have to sell me all 3 games.
Like,
you're a retail associate. You're a retail associate, and you have to sell it.
Are we like role playing here? Like, are you the customer and I'm the?
Yes, I'm the customer. You're the associate. So you have to try to sell me those 3 games.
Okay.
So hold on. Hello, sir. What
Hi.
are some games? What are some games that you recommend? And go.
I don't recommend 2 of these 3 games. No, jeez. Okay, so if you let me get to this Vex Wikipedia page because I don't know anything about this game except that it has some kind of rat character that looks really like a early 2000s angry mascot character, rejected mascot character. Do you enjoy platforming games?
Yes, I do.
Do you enjoy crazy looking animals that do fun attacks and take down bad guys?
Not really.
Oh, well, do you like to go fast?
Yes.
Do you like to collect rings or coins?
Yes, I do.
Well, boy, do you like an interesting and weird love story?
Yes.
Well, do I have a game for you? I have Sonic the Hedgehog for Xbox 360. It is a platforming game where you collect rings and my nose is telling me that this is not fun. It is a fun platforming game where you can run real fast and there's a romantic edge to Sonic that you've never seen before.
Okay. Is there another game that you recommend?
Well, in the same vein as Sonic, we have the game the game called Vex, which is also a platforming video game. You must defeat enemies and jump across platforms, and it is you are only armed with the legendary Estani war talons, which give you extreme power to take down your enemies, as well as fly and swim.
How does the game control?
I think the game controls. Vex was very heavily inspired by Super Mario 64, so I think that it controls like that.
Anything else that you recommend?
Well, if you want one of the best games of this generation, may I recommend you Rise of the Tomb Raider. Do you like puzzles?
Yes, I do.
Do you like scavenging through environments and upgrading cool weapons and equipment?
Uh-huh.
Do you like an interesting female protagonist?
Yes.
Do you not like evil organizations trying to take over the world?
Yes.
Well, then you're going to love Rise of the Tomb Raider. Yeah? No?
You fail. That's a game for you.
Hold on.
I love his answer, which is like Vex is it's been inspired by Mario 64.
That's what the Wikipedia page said. It was heavily inspired by platformers like Super Mario 64 and Banjo-Kazooie.
You're supposed to sell me the game, not play 21 questions to get the game.
Hey, do you like Mario 64? Do you want another platformer that controls like Mario 64? I think I did a pretty good job selling that game. I think I did a pretty darn good job of selling a game that nobody has ever heard of.
My tactics aren't going to be much different either. I can tell you that right now.
Oh,
do you like a big bad witch called Baba Yaga?
Well, it's Jesse's turn.
I hate you so much right now.
Oh, I just thought that was so funny.
I hope you choke on Big Mac tomorrow.
Jesse's clue. What'd you say?
Nothing.
This is back to this episode.
I need more water. You're making me upset.
So Jesse gave me a number 2. In his game, a clue game was Whiplash. So Jesse, your 3 games are Dead Central, Whiplash, and Rainbow Six Siege. Now, before you go, I think we gotta wait for Corey to come back. But I know you did your research for Whiplash. Hopefully, you watched the video, you got some ideas, and I really hope that you can sell me on these games as a new Xbox One owner. And just to let everybody know, all these we're just doing the imaginary role playing for these games being available because not all these games are available. So it's going to be interesting, and that's why I did it, because I knew Corey don't sell anything, and I know you, Jesse, don't sell anything. But I kind of want you guys to like really experience what associates in retail have to go through when it's games they have no education about. They never played it, maybe never seen it or anything. So this is the kind of the thing we have to do. Corey is just shaking his head.
So Whiplash.
So dance.
Siege.
Yeah, so
Dance Central.
Dance Central. Yeah. So Corey, Jesse games are Dance Central, Whiplash, and Rainbow Six Siege.
Way to give them easy ones. You gave me the worst Sonic game, another platformer that's awful, and then the game of the generation. So,
well, I gave you a bad game, an average game, and a AAA game.
You did.
I did the same thing with Jesse. I gave him a bad game, an average game, and a AAA game.
Which is which?
Where's he going? So that's how I try to make it fair.
I forgot to turn off the hall light. Sorry.
Oh.
No, Son will get mad if I don't keep the lights off because, no one's in the hallway, so there's no reason for the light to be on.
Okay. So, Jesse, go.
You're an awful person.
All right, well, all these games that I have for you are very interesting in their own ways. I'll start with Whiplash. Do you like platformers?
Yes, I do.
Do you hate animal testing?
No, I don't.
You don't? You don't? Well, it's good because this game you actually get to play as an animal, and you play as a weasel, and you can shove a rabbit into an electrical socket to give them electricity powers.
That's so awesome.
How does the game play?
It's your like a typical platformer, 3D platformer, but you actually have some like hack and slash style gameplay, or like you go around destroying and wreaking havoc and beating up the all the scientists that are trying to do these animal testing on you.
Okay.
And
is there any other game you could recommend also?
Yeah, do you like first person shooters?
Yeah, I do like them.
Are you sick of the same old cookie cutter, the same thing every day, every time being redone, but yet it's the same exact game?
I guess. I don't know.
Rainbow Six Siege is a very good first-person shooter that gives you plenty of different characters and styles of gameplay that you can kind of play at your own pace or do, if you want to be on the offense or the defense, and it gives you a lot of cool characters, and you have little storylines that you learn about them. So it's not just your typical first-person shooter where all you change is your outfit and that's it, and there's no real personality to it.
Okay, is there another game that you recommend?
Do you like to dance?
Yes, I love to dance.
Well, I have a game for you. It's called Dance Central. And there's nothing more that you need to really know about it other than you get to dance and listen to some good music while you're doing it.
Like, what tracks do they have for it?
I'm pretty sure there's tracks by, like, bands like Insane Clown Posse and probably some Nickelback.
Okay, that is gay. Them games do not have Nickelback or Insane Clown Posse.
Buy these games or I'll cut you, fool.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. I didn't expect it to just go so perfect. This is just a mess. Oh wow, you guys cannot sell a game for nothing. And everybody that was resale. This mug said you can dance. It has tracks like Nickelback and I was like, have you seen a commercial Dance Central? Like you could have said Rihanna, the hottest pop hit and R&B songs like Beyond. Like you had wow.
I was going more for comical.
Wow. When you said Nickelback, I was just like, okay, there's no Nickelback song. This must say Insane Clown Posse. We record. He had to look up and say, wait, what?
No comment.
Learn about magnets and how they work.
Well, everybody, that was we sell retail. Hopefully, we'll do more of these with other guests. We'll do another one in the future. And I think, Corey, if you come back, I'm gonna have you do the list for me and Jesse. And
okay.
and just to let you know, you have to keep it Xbox related. So all of these games play on Xbox One. That is an imaginary world that all the games that you give us play on Xbox One. So,
what if I want to do a 3DO game section?
You can't do 3DO. This is an Xbox podcast.
No, I thought this was a 3DO podcast. Dang it.
I've never played the 3DO.
Oh, dude, you don't want to.
Have you tried it?
Yeah, dude, I have one.
Wait, when? I didn't see this in your pictures that you showed.
Oh,
Were you cleaning out?
Those, I mean, those systems are. I have an Atari Jaguar and a Panasonic 3DO just sitting in my parents' basement somewhere.
Wow, I did not.
Yeah.
Is it the big box one where the tray comes out in the middle, or is it okay?
No, it's there was two versions of it. There was like a pop-up version, which was like the
second version of it.
It was like this tan box, and then there was a disc slide one, which is the one that I have, which is black.
Okay.
Which, if you need some extra money, you could easily make some money off of those, selling them.
I know. I have a Saturn I'm trying to get rid of too.
One of the best systems.
And a Master System.
Yes. I think, wasn't we talking about the Master System? We're talking about when you cut it on and it came like with a game like Snail.
Yeah.
Like
there's two games in it. There's a couple of different versions of it, but yeah, when you turned it on without a card in it, it gave you a menu where you could pick from two different games.
Yeah, I had one of them that did Hang On and Safari Hunt.
Yeah, that's the one I had.
Yeah, but then there was an earlier version that you get to play a snail game, like when you cut it on without no cartridge. Do. So everybody, for this week's Arsenal Exchange, I did have a question, but we're going to save it for next episode because our Arsenal Exchange is from you guys, the listeners. Woo-hoo. We have a lot of questions. Yes, we have a lot of questions that you guys have given us, so we're going to jump right into them. Our first question comes from Megan Green. Are any of you planning on getting an Xbox One X? If so, why? If not, what are your reasons for not upgrading? Financial reasons aside. By the way, please no to a Japanese developer on Fable. I love to see an up-and-coming British developer take on a franchise or Rare. So, Jesse, are you planning on getting an Xbox
I
One
like
X?
how he just doesn't even wait for us to acknowledge that nobody wants a Japanese Fable game.
Because we'll talk about that later on. Because we have another comment who said something, so that's why I'm going to wait. So, Jesse, are you going to get an Xbox One X in the future? If so, why? If not, what are the reasons?
Yeah, I definitely am gonna get one the second that my my bank account can afford it. But yeah, I definitely want to get one just because I've since the first Xbox came out, I've always been impressed with like kind of what they've brought to the table as far as like functionality and like in my life, like I love to game, but like media in general is pretty important to me. So like the Xbox just, in my opinion, just does kind of everything that I need it for the best. So I definitely want to upgrade and kind of be ready for the next generation, because I think I guess I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure that this, the Xbox One X is gonna be basically, into the next generation. Like the PS5 when it comes out is probably gonna basically be their version of the Xbox One X. So if it's kind of in the process of getting, moving to that next generation, then I definitely want to get on board as soon as I can. So.
Yeah. For me, I'm not going to get an Xbox One X because I'm fine with my regular Xbox, and with my TV, it just runs like I just got the system maybe 3 years ago. So I mean, it's still running good. I haven't had too many problems with it. And I don't feel like I need to upgrade to a 4K TV. My games look good at this point in time, so there's no need for me personally to get it. What about you, Corey?
I'm probably gonna get one eventually, probably sometime next year. I just, I love the Xbox. Like, I love the brand and everything, and like I'm gonna keep my S2 because like my wife already knows how to use it. I'll leave it in the other room for like, a Netflix machine or a Blu-ray player or whatever, because like we don't have one out there right now, because I kind of moved everything around and stuff. But like, I would like to have one just for like, eventually I'm gonna get a 4K TV, so I'll have that ready to go. And I, like we said like earlier, some of the games are already starting to show their wear and tear on the Xbox. Like Assassin's Creed, as great as that game is, it could probably run a little bit better if the system was a little bit more powerful, and it doesn't run at a clear 1080p. It runs at 900p sometimes, and and a lot of people are saying on the X it runs at, it super samples the 4K. It's not true 4K, but you can get it running at, you can favor performance or graphics, and performance would give you a nice steady 60 frames a second at 1080p, which is, that's what I want from that game, and that's what I want from Rise of the Tomb Raider and Halo and Gears. Like, I want that, and just having the box be able to do that, plus future-proof my media, like 4K Blu-rays, and, like, I've been waiting to get a 4K TV for so long. I have 2 4K Blu-rays just still in the cellophane because I want to watch them someday on a 4K TV. Like Deadpool was on sale on 4K Blu-ray, and I was like, well, I'll get it because I'm probably going to get one eventually. So like I have that wrapped, and I have Guardians 2 wrapped in a 4K thing, and I wasn't sure if I was going to be ready for like a 4K jump, but as long as I can future-proof it, and like, Xbox is kind of not really doing generations anymore, and if the X is that first step into like quote unquote the next generation without being the next generation. Like, I kind of want to be a part of it. I want to see how things run differently, and like, I just want to see how much more powerful it is. Like, you can look at screenshots and stuff all you want on the internet, whatever. That doesn't really do anything for me. But like, if I could have it run side by side with my S, and I want to see what Gears looks like on this TV compared to this TV, or this box compared to this box, or I think it'd just be fascinating to literally see the differences. So, but yeah, I hope I answered the question. Like, I do want to get an X eventually, and whether or not I get a 4K TV or not soon, like, I do want a nice new box, and I'll have 2 Xboxes. So, yay me, yay me.
Well, even just for load times on some games,
yeah,
it
like
would be
a
nice
lot of people are
because
saying
some games.
A lot of people are saying like the load times on Assassin's Creed Origins on the X are non-existent. Like, and it takes me like, when I'm fast traveling and stuff, to another location takes me like at least 60 seconds to 90 seconds just to get there. Just because the box isn't powerful enough to do it that fast. So that'd be kind of nice. So I don't know. I'll upgrade. Like, I upgraded to a Pro, but I mean, like I said, I only upgraded to a PS4 Pro because my PlayStation died, and I was like, well, I might as well. So we'll see. We'll see what comes first, Switch games or the new Xbox.
Oh, Switch for me.
I mean, look, the Switch has so many good games coming out that it's like,
yes.
I don't. It's gonna take me longer to get an Xbox One X. Like, here's the thing, the amount of money in the last 2 or 3 months that I've spent on Switch games probably could have bought me an Xbox One X. But I mean, the stuff that Nintendo's putting out right now, and like the indies and stuff, are so good that I'm just like, look, I can play through Assassin's Creed on my S if it means I get to play these cool Switch games. It's not like the Xbox One S is a horrible experience, So
right.
Yeah.
There's just a better one out there.
Well, we're going to move on to our next question by Jackson Phillips. If you could pick some franchises to come back but change them in some way, what would they be? I thought it would be a good topic when I heard y'all talk about a perfect dark game in the vein of Metal Gear 5, and I would be all for that. Also, I vote no on the Japanese developer for Fable. So, Corey, what game or franchises would you bring back, and but how would you change it in some way?
Man, I don't even know what I would bring back at this point. Like, I mean, I think if they could get the budget behind a Banjo-Kazooie game that would be like a Mario Odyssey style game, like, I think that would be really cool. I don't really know what I would change. Like, I was thinking the other day about like a Fable game in the vein of Horizon, almost. But like maybe a little less serious than Horizon, like a really cool action RPG where you're going out and doing cool stuff and exploring.
But still have some comedy to it.
Yeah, like just that humor that Fable's known for, but like take the game a little bit more serious, but not on the level of like Horizon, but still go into town and people like calling you a chicken chaser or lemons, or like all the dumb nicknames they gave you. And like as you progress through the game, you could like your character could age through the story of the game, because that was like one of the big selling points of Fable 1, where like your character would age as you progress through the game. And like you could theoretically show that throughout the story of the game, make it take place over like 15 years or something. I think that'd be cool. I would like to see a squad-based Halo game similar to Gears. Like, not that I would bring that back, like, not that you're bringing back a franchise, but changing a franchise. Like, I always thought it'd be cool if you could control a squad of Spartans similar to like
Like
Republic
Fuse.
or like Republic Commando for Xbox. Like,
Ooh.
I think that'd be cool if you could just control a squad of Spartans like that, you know?
Ooh, that looks good. Yeah, I'll be into that.
So that's kind of, but like an open world stealth, perfect dark game. Like, that's still my go-to. I think they could do something really cool with like the art style, but still make it a cool and fascinating open world and make it kind of like 80s techno, like bright purples and oranges and greens and, you know, very over the top, but still have an open world feel. Man, that's still my go-to, man. Still think it'd be cool.
I think I don't know. For me, I would still do open, but I'm kind of like a newer or not like a noir style, like maybe a little bit cyberpunkish. I don't know. It's just something about visually seeing it in my mind.
Yeah, I think a cyberpunky kind of cool, perfect take on Perfect Dark would be cool too.
Yeah. What about you, Jesse?
Yeah, I mean, you know, like we kind of talked with the, like I definitely still, yeah, my main one would be the Perfect Dark one that we, you know, originally talked about, and doing something unique with that and making it a little bit more, you know, like story driven, I guess, because I think like that world is, you know, is interesting to me. But I'm trying to think of other games that, you know, that are kind of like exclusive to Xbox, because that's what she wanted, was exclusive stuff, right? Like just basically.
Just any franchise.
Yeah.
No, Jesse, he'll probably do like a dark take of Grab by the Ghoulies or something.
Gosh, get that out of here. Stubbs the Zombie. I want a gritty reboot of Stubbs the Zombie.
Oh, wow. What was Dennis Dyak's other game for 360?
Who cares?
Ooh.
I'm just kidding. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't really think of, because like we've kind of talked about, you know, a lot of them already, like that I could think of that you know, I mean, like the franchise, like one of my favorite franchises right now with Xbox is the State of Decay. But
yes.
But it would, I don't really know what I would do to, like, because it's kind of like anything that you would do differently with that would have already kind of been done. They, like with that game, they've kind of just did the whole like survival open world thing with zombies. Like they did it so well compared to a lot of the other ones that I just feel like just don't do it, you know, do it for me as much as this, you know, that game does. But it's like, you know, that's the thing. I can't really think of what I would do to it though. Like, short of like turning it more into like a Resident Evil style game where it's like a more close and personal, like, you know, adding more like puzzle solving and stuff like that to it or something. Like make it, I don't know. Trying to think of other franchises that
it was Too Human.
Too Human?
Yeah, that was the game that Dennis Dyack did for Microsoft.
Oh man, Too Human. Like that game had such a cool concept. And it just was like, man, game is awful.
Yeah, like I wouldn't mind seeing like this is kind of funny, but I wouldn't mind seeing like Fusion Frenzy done more into like
nice.
Like get a Nintendo style you know, makeover where like have it kind of be like similar to their like Mario and you know, and have it where you use those characters from the Fusion Frenzy and have them do like a like different styles of party games, or have them do like more of like sports games or something that's like more aimed towards having party style games, multiplayer, but give you different experiences. Because that game was kind of more like a Mario Party, but I wouldn't mind seeing them like doing like a Mario Kart style game or something like that. Have it and have their own unique like style. Like I could see them doing it more like it would be like Mario Party in the style of like Tron or something like that.
Oh, okay.
That would be kind of interesting.
For me, I would kind of like to see Blinks the Time Sweeper kind of done in a Metroid style game. I know that's a little bit old school. I would like to see a game called Malice, which jumped to different publishers. I kind of would like to see that in a 2D puzzle game, arcade style puzzle game. T-Human will probably be like something in the form of like a platinum action adventure game, but redone by some action team, maybe Ninja Theory or something could do it, which would be interesting that Ninja Theory would make a game on the Microsoft platform.
I just think Ninja Theory needs to make every game ever.
Project Gotham Racing could be in the form of like Burnout Takedown. I could see that, or that would probably be more Forza. But I would like to see Project Gotham Racing. Kind of like a sequel to Blue Dragon. Don't change nothing. Just give me a sequel to it. is what I would like to really see. So yeah, but that's the games that I would kind of bring back and actually changed up. So we're going to move on to our next question from Samantha Cross. How would you move Microsoft forward from a business standpoint? Do you think they offer a good product? I wouldn't actually move them from a business standpoint. I think Microsoft is good at what they do. I think sometimes they need to fail in order to learn from it so they could make better decisions, because Microsoft just got baked, and I wouldn't like doubt them, because I prefer Microsoft over Apple when it comes to PCs and some of their products. That might sound crazy. I know Corey's gonna shake his head, but I've dealt with Apple and some of their products, and when they break, they kind of want you to buy a new one. Like the replacement plan or a replacement of getting something fixed shouldn't cost as much as getting a new one. You would think that it would cost less.
It does cost less.
And not for what I have.
My 3-year replacement plan on my laptop was $150.
Not for me. My iTouch, to get it fixed, was the same price of getting a new iTouch.
Well, you're wrong.
I that's what happens at the Apple Store. So,
are you sure you went to the Apple Store?
Yes, I went to the Apple Store. The Apple Store is 5 minutes from my job, literally. They have lines, in which I didn't get to see the line for the iPhone X or the other iPhone. Usually they have a line in the mall for the Apple Store for people to come and get it. But I just didn't get to go to that mall to see how long it was going to be. But I think they offer a good product. I think they offer a better product than Apple. Now, I will say I haven't dealt with Apple's PCs or computers or anything like that. But like for the iTouches and stuff and just dealing with them.
I do think Apple's products are like super overpriced, but like at the same time, like Microsoft, talking like general Windows PCs, like allow you to customize your stuff a lot more, where like, maybe you just want to do you know, video editing, so you only buy the stuff you need for video editing on Windows, and like that's what you pay for. Whereas like on an Apple product, you are literally paying for everything that you can possibly do ever on the thing, whether you're going to use it or not. So like if you're going to say you only want to do video editing, well, you get the stuff for video editing, you get the stuff for recording audio, you get the art package, you get like, you literally get everything.
Mm-hmm.
So like in one way that's kind of nice, but in another way it's kind of like, I don't need all that stuff, so why am I paying for it? But like I do think Apple products are kind of expensive. I mean, they're nice and they'll last you a long time, but like at the same time it's like maybe like, I don't know, is it really worth it sometimes, you know? So like I'm using a Windows computer right now because like it's way easier to record us, but I edit all of our videos on a Mac. So like, you know, I do work with both, but
yeah, I think Mac is good for editing stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I have to invest in a new computer. That's gonna suck eventually.
What for the editing software stuff?
Mm-hmm. Because like my laptop is like burning out. Sometimes if I have to process 2 or 3 videos at the same time, it'll just like stop the program until my computer cools down, which is why like sometimes our videos go up late. It's not because I didn't edit them. It's because when I'm done editing them, my computer doesn't want to process it. So like
that sucks.
You know, I mean, I'm doing it on something that's not meant for that, so like it's understandable, but at the same time it just kind of sucks that like, you know, just sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, and I have to see, because I haven't dealt with a lot of Apple editing software. Like I said, haven't did nothing with the computers. There's just something about it I guess at this time I don't need, so I don't need to experiment with it. But I think just like some of the replacement and getting stuff fixed is like a little bit way too much. And I think I could kind of get that same experience or that same software stuff cheaper on Windows PC.
Mm-hmm.
No, and I get what you're saying. It's like a full package versus a la carte for Microsoft. But I think you could just find programs online that's free or something a little bit basic, that if you're a whiz kid and could use it and do some workaround stuff, you know.
Yeah. But
so, what about you, Jesse?
Yeah, I think like as far as moving them forward, they're like, I agree. They're I think they're doing fine. They, you know, they're kind of readjusting everything and kind of hit the reset button. So it, like, right now it looks, you know, like they're, you know, I mean, well, and they are behind in a sense, but I think they're trying to take care, you know, of the things that are kind of important for them that they have to take care of, you know, so they can move forward. And so I think this next, you know, this year coming up is when we're going to see a big change in, you know, as far as more games coming out and, and you know, hopefully we'll be seeing some new groups, you know, that are working for Microsoft to make new games. And I think it's, you know, it's hard, you know, when you're looking at it as an outsider, it looks like nothing's really going on, but I think it's too early in the stages of moving forward that, you know, you really can't, you know, see any progress. But I think this next year we'll finally see what direction they're going in. So it's kind of, we're in limbo right now with them. But I think they're, you know, as far as moving forward, all they really got to do is just work on getting some new games and maybe some new franchises started, to get people interested. So, I think that's really the main thing that I would do, and I think they are doing, is just working on getting some new games out. So, but otherwise, as far as the Xbox itself goes, I mean, they've got the One X that's going to give you the best experience right now for playing the games, and better visuals and stuff like that. So they don't need to do too much there, for now. So
Yeah, and their backwards compatibility, like when they announced Red Dead Redemption, like people were buying used copies. Like they was happy for that to come back.
yeah.
Yeah, and Windows 10, regardless of how people view it, it worked when it came out for free for everybody. If you dealt with Windows OS, you understand that Windows 10 was a blessing because they got it right.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, definitely was go back to it, the Windows 98 style or whatever, the XP or whatever, with like some of those earlier ones were really, really nice, and they started screwing around with things, and it just wasn't working out very well. But it seems like they kind of got back to a solid system again. So
yeah. So we're gonna go to our next question from. Now it might be Geo or Geo, but I'm going to go with Geo. Geo Drake. What's one game on Sony's platform that you admire and want to see Microsoft take inspiration from? So, Jesse, what's that one game on Sony's platform that you admire and want to see Microsoft take inspirations from?
Well, I know a lot of people would probably say Horizon Zero Dawn. That's going to be like a given, basically. But I like, for me personally, like my favorite genre of game is like the horror survival style games and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And like, honestly, like the like, if I was to get a PlayStation today, like a PS4 today, my first game I would get would be Until Dawn. So I would like to see a very story driven game like that on the Xbox, that's kind of like a choose your own adventure almost, where the choices you make determine what happens in the story, kind of thing like that, and a survival horror type thing. I think that's the first game that comes to mind for me, would be something like that. Because I mean, we have survival horror stuff. I really loved the Condemned games. I've said that multiple times. That I love that, and Resident Evil always is good. But we don't really have anything like that. That's kind of like a choose your own adventure kind of story thing with the survival horror that's on the Xbox that I can think of off the top of my head. So I think I would like something like that for me.
Okay. What about you, Corey?
I mean, Horizon, I think, is the easy answer. I just, they have franchises they can do that style of game with, and like I said earlier, like Fable, a more lighthearted version of Horizon with Fable would be awesome. But like, I just think the incredible amount of effort that went into world building, and Ed, we talked about this a few times, how they like make a statement about diversity without saying the statement out loud. We're for diversity, and like, having that world and just the characters and building it out, fleshing it out really well, and some minor tweaks here and there to the gameplay, that game would be a perfect 10. Like I still believe that. Like that's the game that Microsoft has to live up to now, in terms of competition. And they say that the best artists are the ones that copied the work and made it known, and I think I don't want them to like straight up copy Horizon. I think that would be a bad idea, but like add a artistic flair to it and make it their own, but still make a really cool action RPG with a fleshed out world. Like Fable fits that description. Albion is a very fleshed out. It has a fleshed out history. It has a fleshed out, character base. It has, a lot of things you could do in that. And I think they could add an interesting element with your dog companion. I think would add an interesting element to that game. I think, choosing adding the good or evil side of things to that, like tackling the side quests either the good way or the bad way, could alter how the game plays out, and really add something to that open world that we really haven't seen in a game like Horizon, like an open world RPG before.
Yes.
I think Microsoft could do a lot of cool things with that framework and just add things that would make it their own. So, I think Horizon is the game to look at. I also think Infamous is a cool game, an interesting game to look at. If Microsoft could create their own version of a superhero game, I think that would probably go over pretty well.
People usually say that Sunset Overdrive is a ripoff of Second Son, but I personally think it.
Sunset Overdrive is awesome. That.
Yeah,
that was a cool idea.
If they were to, yeah.
Right. And that's more Insomniac. And if you think that that's because of Infamous, then you need to go play the Sly Cooper games, because a lot of that stuff that's in Sunset Overdrive came from Sly Cooper.
Yeah.
So
and Sunset Overdrive is the first attempt at that story, at that game. I mean, that they very possibly could improve on that and have a better game moving forward. I wouldn't mind seeing that happen either, because I did like that game.
I need to finish it. I want to finish that game. So, for me, The Last Guardian. I would love to see Microsoft be able to take something that
I was thinking The Last Guardian. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
no, go ahead.
They kind of have their quote unquote artsy franchise in Ori. And I know it's not the same type of game, but it's they have their kind of cult following artsy game. So that's why I didn't say Last Guardian.
Well, Last Guardian, in the fact that it deals with a relationship, but the minimalist in that game. Sorry. In The Last Guardian, it kind of makes it, being able to be where you're sitting out in the wind is blowing and seeing how Trico's fur moves and how he reacts to the little boy and the stuff. It's just hearing some of the music play, for Microsoft to get away from thinking that everything has to be big and bold and mature and the guns are blazing and try to tell some movie quality narrative story stuff. What happens when you could just do something small, but make it feel big and make it feel that the relationship that's going on between two characters really matter and their relationship depends on each other. Like if you look at the last Guardian, the boy depends on Trico, kind of almost as his protector, and Trico looks up to the boy as his master to feed him and help him get around, and help him understand what's going on in the world, you know. Because with Trico kidnapping the boy and stuff, you just like I need your help, and you being a human, you being the closest thing for help. Sorry, I had to kidnap you, but we need your help on this land. And it would be something interesting to see uh, if Microsoft could do that, make something that's minimalist, but make it feel grand in a sense between two characters. Like do some puzzle based things, or do some nice action combat, or not too much dialogue. Really use a piano and some flutes and violins. Like make some things a little bit orchestra, but make the piano like kind of the main focus to help carry this along. Because that's one thing that I kind of wish that Microsoft did better, was have better soundtracks for their music. I mean, for their games. And I think something like The Last Guardian, if Microsoft made something similar or was inspired of that to make a game in a sense. And it don't even have to be human and animal. It could be two humans. It could be two animals, or whatever they want to create. It could be about a human and a cyborg. If I want to take, if I was going to go with more inspiration outside of Sony, Microsoft needs to watch the movie Metropolis and understand that relationship between the boy and the girl robot in that movie. And I would love to see something like that. Metropolis is an anime, really, really good. The person who made Astro Boy, created this character, but he died before the movie could ever get made. So, it really just a really great movie. So, that's my answer for this question. So we're going to get into the last question. At COD Fan FF at Corey in HD, what do you think will happen to Battlefront 2? Let me respond to this one, Corey, before you go. Surprisingly, Battlefront 2 has been selling.
No, it has not.
Let me tell you why.
Physical copies are down 60%.
Physical copies are about to go up. I've been having kids come in with their grandparents, with their mom and dad, buying a physical game. And I think they don't know about the microtransaction situation. A lot of kids have been coming up looking at the PS4 version or looking at the Xbox One version and said, I want that game. And I think it's because their friends have it also. Now, and the reason why I say that, Corey, is that this just happened unexpectedly this week, last week while I was at work, and I was just like, and I'm kind of getting worried, just to be like, okay, is EA gonna be start making money off of kids who want this game that don't know this transaction, the controversy about this game? And if they don't know, EA might be banking on these kids. And there might be a surprise surge in sales if this happens.
Yeah.
Okay, you could go home.
Well, here's the thing. Like, I said this on NGR this week's episode of NGR Radio. Like, Matt and I were kind of talking about it a little bit, and it's like, look, people that are like really into this stuff know what's going on, but then you get people like my cousin and his son are really, really into Star Wars, but they don't play games a lot, and they were thinking about getting a PS4 just for Battlefront and Lego Star Wars, and it's like they just want it because it's a Star Wars game, man. They don't go online and look at it. They just see the commercials and say, "Oh, look, cool TIE fighters blowing each other up," and like, it's a cool supposedly a cool new story that bridges the gap between Jedi and Force Awakens and like new characters, and you're basically just replaying scenes from the movies, and it's like that's kind of all they want it for. And it's not like they are online looking at this stuff or on Reddit message boards or anything. They literally just saw commercials and they're like, oh man, new Star Wars stuff, that's cool. And it's like, how many people are like that are buying this game? And that's why, I think people were waiting for Black Friday to see if that game was going to go on sale or not. I think people were waiting for Christmas to buy the game. Like, I know that I just said that sales were down 60% of the physical copies, but like, I think a lot of people are waiting for games to go on sale because they want to wait for the games to go on sale because they don't want to pay $60, or they are waiting for Christmas or whatever holidays you celebrate, and they're just waiting for those, and that's when the sales will pick up. And I'm sure in January or February there'll be some Xbox Gold sale or some PlayStation Flash sale where it's $20, or the free play weekends are really popular, or a year from now is it added to the EA vault, like for EA access. It's really hard to judge this game because of the audience it's trying to attract, aside from the microtransactions. And it's like, Star Wars is arguably the biggest brand right now. You've got Marvel, you've got Star Wars. Those are two of the biggest money makers right now in terms of merchandise and movies and now games and stuff. So like, I don't know, man. This game's really hard to judge, and it's like I would really like to play this game because I really enjoyed the first one, but at the same time, I'm not paying for this game until they figure out what they're doing, or they issue some sort of apology, or like something is really heartfelt, and it sucks because like Walt Williams is a great writer, and like the girl that plays the new character is a really great actress, and like you want to support those people because they're like up and coming storytellers or up and coming actors or actresses that you support because they're good in other things that you like, or it's hard. It's a hard decision to make because you don't want to support EA. It's the Mass Effect situation, right? Like, you don't want to buy another EA game, but you love Mass Effect and you don't want BioWare to close, and like that's the conundrum Anthem is going to have when it comes out, right? Because you're like, well, look at all this crap that EA is pulling, but you don't want BioWare to close because they're a great studio. So like, this game has created such a weird thing, it's just this weird game that exists, and I don't really know how to tackle it,
Well, it's like the adult gamer knows and sees this as greed on EA part.
Well, not even adult gamers. It's like my cousin is older than me, and he doesn't know any of this stuff that's going on. It's the hardcore that know about this.
Well, yeah, I think yes. That I should rephrase it. I think when I mean as the adult gamer,
you mean a more informed gamer.
Yeah, the more informed, because like young kid, there's still young kids who don't pay attention to video games. Their marketing is, my friend got it, so I got to get it. Mm-hmm. And that's the marketing. And EA will bank off of that. You try to ask a kid what is games as a service, they wouldn't be able to tell you. Maybe the well-informed adult would be able to tell you, but like your cousin, he wouldn't be able to tell you what a games as a service thing. Mm-hmm. His first guess would probably be like, "Is that something like a mobile game?"
Yeah. Which, I mean, technically, mobile games are games as services. So like,
yeah.
I mean, like, I didn't tell him like what was going on because it's like, for people don't know that kind of stuff, it's like really complicated to try to explain to someone like what the heck is going on with Battlefront. But like, I was like, when he was talking to me about it the other day, and I was like, Yeah, it looks cool, but like I'm gonna wait till it goes on sale because there's some things going on with that game that I don't really like.
Support.
Yeah, and I was like, but Lego Star Wars is fun. Yay.
Right. Jesse, your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know. I just with that game, I just hope that everything that's going on kind of maybe fixes something, and hopefully all this, like there's talk about people investigating them, and they're it's pretty crazy, and I just kind of want to stay away from it right now until things get sorted out, and hopefully I think as bad as it is, and it's unfortunate because like you said, it's like you're basically they're using these people like BioWare and stuff, they're basically holding them as a human shield. And unfortunately, when you want to revolt against them, they take everyone else down with them.
I mean, like the same thing is happening to Need for Speed right now, right? Is like, but like,
yeah, they removed
it's different because like Need for Speed isn't nearly as popular as Star Wars, though. But like that stuff that's happening with their garage microtransactions, it's the same thing. Like, it's literally the same thing. And like, I know not a lot of people are really talking about the Need for Speed stuff, but like, they literally have 2 games out right now that are doing the exact same thing that are just evil, and it's like,
and they had to remove it, and I think that's why a lot of people feel like even if you remove microtransactions, you still got a problem with the game. Because
if you take out the microtransactions, you just have a very poor implemented progression system, and it's
pretty much.
And it's like, like the microtransactions aside, like I haven't played it. I have friends that have bought it and have played it and really like it. We have friends in the community that have bought it and like it. But like, the things I keep hearing is like the progression system still sucks. It's like, there's no progression. There's no like. Like Overwatch doesn't really have a progression system. You just level up and get loot boxes and stuff, but the sense of progression is there when you level up and you're like, oh, I get a loot box, and then if you have a duplicate, it automatically breaks down into credits, and you're like, oh, well, I can use these credits to buy something else that I don't have, which is really nice. And like, I know we've run around this topic like 45 times, so I'm just trying to make the quick version. But like, the way that Star Wars does it is like, you don't even get that stuff. It's all random, and it's just like, I don't know. Like, I haven't played it, so I don't really know how it works. And I don't know if it's really like as bad as the internet makes it seem. Like, I really don't. But like, at the same time, like, sources that I trust, like, really think that this game is like evil.
I think at next year E3, I think that's when they'll probably return the microtransactions to it, or they'll have
then it'll be like
they'll have some updates. Well, it depends on what Disney says. I think Disney's waiting for what this this investigation.
Dude, they have to, like, from a business standpoint, they have to get those microtransactions back in at some point for something. Like, they can rework the progression all they want. They can rework the worth of everything all they want. But like, that's part of like the business model. Like, they could lose a ton of money on this game because of their dumb decisions. And like, I think they have already. From a business perspective, they have to get those back in to make up some of the costs. Like, here's the thing. Like, I wish studios would just increase the cost of games. Like, I know that sounds awful, but like, with all this extra development time going into 4K textures and extra realistic looking things and licensing deals and stuff, like, if Battlefront And like, okay, I know they they have an $80 and $100 version, but like, if they would just charge like $79.99 instead of $59.99, and everything's in there, like that, I would be fine with that because of like how much work goes into these things, you know. Like if the next Tomb Raider game was $79.99, like I would buy it, you know. Like it would be less, like wouldn't be able to buy as many games, but at the same time it's like, look, we don't buy every game. I mean, sometimes we do, but like a normal person doesn't buy every game they want to play because of, you know, time constrictions or financial restrictions or, you know, just life in general. You know, you buy the game that's going to be worth your time. And that's why, I mean, honestly, that's why games like Battlefront 2 and Call of Duty and Titanfall, well, maybe not Titanfall, but like, I think Titanfall sold well. I think it's had it's had a long tail on it. But like, you know, those games sell well because
the replay is high.
Yeah, the replay value is high. Like the multiplayer itself gives you a high replay value, and it's a reason why Horizon sold well and The Witcher sold well, is because like those games give you hours and hours and hours of content for, like The Witcher gives you like 200 hours of content for $60.
Yeah.
Or, you know, for $85 if you bought both expansion packs, like 300 hours worth of content. You know, that's a ton of content for $75-$85. You know, like Final Fantasy, you could get all these extra episodes and content for $85, and like it took me like 65 hours to beat the main game, you know, and I didn't even do everything. So I don't know. I just think it would be, look, we used to pay $80 and $90 for Nintendo 64 and Super Nintendo games back in the day, you know, and that was with 1997 money. You know, I think we can cut the industry some slack. Look, when they raise the price $10, people stop caring after a week, right?
I think the problem is that if they're paying $80 and they're trading it in, you know, that's a different topic on itself.
Well, then I mean, like that's on you then, though. Like that's when, you know, if you're gonna raise the price, maybe companies start providing demos or vertical slices to people to allow them to play the game before they buy. People need to do the research. People need to start looking stuff up. Like like if you're going to raise the price, demos, you should incorporate a demo section into your development cost. But
see, the demo thing, yeah, that would be a good idea. But now demos are hidden behind pre-sales.
Not all of them. Wolfenstein has a 2-level beta or 2-level demo out right now. Wolfenstein 2.
But the game has already out. They didn't put no demo in before the game came out.
That's fine. You don't have to buy the game on day one. Like you can wait 30 days. Like if you wait 30 days and then put out a demo, like that's fine. Like who cares?
But that's what people expect. They expect the demo to be out before the actual game.
They can't, like, people are just gonna have to lessen their expectations. Like I think a demo after the first week is a okay time frame for them. Like if you say, hey, you know, if you like this game, you can pre-order it, get the bonuses, whatever. But, you know, if you want to wait and see what the game plays like, we're going to put a demo out 7 days after the game comes out.
I think what Nintendo did with Splatoon is a good thing.
Yeah.
As a demo. Do it for 4 hours if you like it, and then after the 4 hours, shut it down.
Yeah.
It like make it time. Like
yeah,
that,
I mean, that's fine
like
too.
demos like that, I will go for.
Yeah, you know, or do like you know, EA Access, like, allowed people to play the first 3 campaign missions of the game if you subscribe to EA Access. Now I know that's like what is it, like $5 a month, I think, but like, you know, even then it's like, well, I get 10 hours of demo time, I get to play the campaign, see how it feels. 10 hours is more than enough time to figure out if you like the multiplayer or not.
Yes.
I
agree.
Like I think that, that should just be in your development costs to do that for people. And like, whether it's a multiplayer beta or a demo or a server stress test, like, I think it's fine. A lot of shooters do that anyway. Destiny, Call of Duty did it, and they're basically server stress tests. But in Destiny, we got to play the first mission of the campaign, and we got to play a strike, and we got to play some multiplayer, and that's cool. Like, if you want early access, you pre-order it, but if you don't mind waiting 3 or 4 days to try it out, like Destiny, like the beta was still going, and then they extended it because it was going so well. Like, that's
and I think that's what I mean by demos being hidden behind pre-orders, because like Destiny having its pre-order, and people who on the PlayStation got to play it Tuesday, Xbox player and everybody else got to play it that Wednesday, and then PC got to play it later on. But to have that early access to that game's demo, you had to pre-order it, and it just felt like, I don't know, besides Splatoon and maybe even ours, like some of the Nintendo titles, they'll, like you said, a stress test or something. Like they do a time demo for that day that you could schedule up and play it, so that you get in enough time if you like it or not. Where some of the demos from third party, they hide it behind a paywall, and they want to put that one first before they be like, okay, everybody else now can play it. And I guess that's what I mean, hidden by a paid demo. The first experience, you kind of have to guarantee that you're going to pick up this game.
Yeah. I just, if they raised the price to like $80 and they had a demo, like, Xbox Live Arcade used to require you to have a demo. Like, that was not a bad idea. That was one of the best features of Xbox Live Arcade. And if they just extended that to be like, look, people are upset about these games, like, you're not making enough money, this is a way we can solve the issues, and like, we just raised the price of the games, there's no loot boxes or hidden fees, or like, or the loot boxes, there's regulations and rules to loot boxes to where like you have to itemize everything the way they have to do it in China. Like, they have to list out the probability of you getting these things, and no duplicates and stuff like that. Like, if there's some sort of industry regulation and you just raise the price and you say, look, these loot boxes are optional, they have no gameplay effect whatsoever, like those kinds of things, like, I honestly think this all would go away. And like, people would be upset for like, what, 2 weeks about the prices going up, and then the next game that they want comes out and they're like, ooh, goody game, and they'll buy it.
If customers and consumers could get a guarantee that they're not going to be nickel and dime, yes, they would pay that $80.
I mean, it would suck because we don't make a ton of money, but like, at the same time, I'm not buying every game. Like, that was my New Year's resolution this year, was to play more of less, buy the games that I really, really, really want to play, and then, make a list of games that, I kind of want to play, and if I get around to it or they go on sale, maybe I'll check it out. And like, for the most part, except for like Switch, but like for the most part, like, I did that. I've played a ton of games, and I probably spent less on games this year than I have in a long time.
I probably spent more on games.
I mean, if you include Switch, like, I bought a lot of Switch games, but
but people got to understand, like, I own 3 consoles. I do a podcast. I get these games not only to have discussions, but to do research. So, yes, I'm building a backlog, but I'm like, there's some stuff in games that we don't talk about.
Yeah.
And sometimes that stuff need to be addressed. I want to see different designs, what Western and Eastern companies are doing. I want to support indies and stuff. Like, there are a ton of games, from my perspective, for me, that I kind of have to own because I do so much more than just play them.
Yeah.
And I think with Battlefront 2, we shall see what happens after the holiday. I think there's going to be a minor huge jump, I think. Definitely when the movie coming out. But the last thing I have to say about this is that I think after Anthem, if BioWare does close, I think people will be upset. And until they protest of not buying no more EA games after BioWare closes, that would be the ultimate. That would be the ultimate decision for a lot of gamers in that company. You could say they're the worst company of all they want, but if they're still making bank and selling games, them closing the studio would not even matter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting predicament that they've put themselves in, and like, you know, not only like this Battlefront 2 stuff, but the closing of Visceral, really, like all this, it's like the perfect storm of bad events for EA. And it's like, plus the Mass Effect Andromeda thing earlier this year, it's just, man, it's rough. Like it's just a rough situation that they put themselves in, and it's going to be interesting how they dig themselves out. So.
It is. Yeah, to me, it's kind of sad that people can't voice their opinion. They got to voice with their dollar. I'm like, I think the dollar thing doesn't work. I'm sorry.
It's like, the thing too is like, the way people are voicing their opinions isn't working either, because they're always like internet hate mob, and it's not just like constructive. Like, you know, okay, so here's an example. When I bought FIFA 18 for Switch, right?
Yes.
I like that game. It has the game modes I want, but it is not nearly a fully featured version of that game, right? It's missing the story mode. It's missing a lot of things that people enjoy about that game. And they sent me that email that says, "Hey, fill out the survey because you bought FIFA 18." And the first question was, "Would you recommend this game to anybody?" And it said FIFA 18 for Nintendo Switch. I said no, and I gave it it was like a star rating. It was like out of 1 to 10 stars, how would you recommend this game to someone? And I put like 4 stars, right? And I was like, it's a good version of the game, but it's not a fully complete version of the game. And like, I gave my constructive feedback. I don't know who's going to read it, but like, you know, I said, I am a fan of FIFA on this platform, but I can't recommend it to people who are huge soccer fans because, you know, it is not a fully featured version of the game. And then I went on to explain, like, you know, 2K and NBA 2K18, if you're going, like, I went on to say, like, that's the type of effort you put into a version of the game for this platform. I'm like, people are starving for content on this game and like, or on this platform. And if you make a short-sighted version of the game, people aren't going to buy it on the system. And like, you can't really judge your, for lack of a better term, half-assed version of the game.
Mm-hmm.
You can't judge your sales on a half-assed version of your pretty much flagship sports franchise. And I pointed at NBA 2K18, how they did that. And what was the other game I pointed to? Oh, Doom. I pointed at Doom on Switch. I'm like, look, they may not look as nice as the other versions, but they have every game mode. They run near flawlessly, and they have all the game modes that you want. You know,
and EA pretty much doesn't listen to that from. I mean, yeah, the surveys are good, but they don't listen to people crying out like, we want a fair game. If the stuff that you give to the other 2 consoles, you should be able to put money into the Switch version so that all 3 are equal across the board.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, and I said, I understand, like in the survey, I said, I understand Frostbite isn't made for underpowered hardware, but it's also like, it's been shown the last few games that the company's put out that it's not made for things that aren't big open world first person shooters, right? Or big battlefield open world shooters. Like I was like, Mass Effect ran on this engine, and it is not, and it suffered from being on the Frostbite engine. And like, you know, I went into like, I understand a lot of people won't understand this, but being in the thick of the gaming community, like, I understand a lot of things that some people don't go the lengths to understand, and like, you know, it's gonna hurt people, you know, when they get versions of the game that aren't correct, you know. So I don't know. When I leave feedback, I try to be constructive, you know. I try to avoid saying like your game is garbage or your game is trash or your game
you try to show the pros and cons.
Yeah, I try to say it in like a respectful manner that like it's actually constructive criticism, because like this this community, this gaming culture is so negative and so toxic all the time, you know. And it's like we all try to be positive when we talk about stuff, right? And that's like kind of the basis of what NGR is, right? Is like we have positive constructive conversations about things, and sometimes we go off the rails, and sometimes we, you know, say negative things, but we try to do it in a constructive way when we talk about it. And you know, there's a lot of people in a lot of places that don't do that. They just hiding behind their Twitter egg, yelling garbage and crap shoots, and when people block them, they just create another Twitter account to yell at the same things, you know. It's just, it sucks when you're actually trying to be constructive about something, and then someone comes in and just makes you feel like a dumpster fire, you know. It's just so, you know, I don't, and wrapping it around the EA thing, and I know we're probably going to wrap up soon, but like, I don't like what EA is doing, but I'm not going to go out and like threaten the developers or anything, you know, because like I'm sure there's a lot of people who worked like 12, 14, 16-hour days on this game to get it done, right? Like, that's not who you blame. You blame the executives, the higher-ups, the people who are trying to, you know, appease the shareholders and the CEOs and the boards and stuff. And it's like, how do you get the message to them? And it's just like, I'm just trying to leave a constructive criticism on a survey you sent me, and send out a tweet that says, I cannot recommend Battlefront 2 because of this, this, and this, and hope somehow, some way, like it gets to someone that's important. And, you know, I heard on the Bombcast the other day that, you know, maybe it's time for EA's executives to change hands, you know, like maybe it's time to force some people out and bring in some new people, you know, especially if they're going to be handling important licenses like Star Wars. So, I mean, you can probably get away with stuff like that in sports games and stuff, but like when you're handling something as big as Star Wars and working with a company as strict and as polished as Disney is, like,
you're right.
You don't want any negative feedback coming from Disney. Like, they'll get you.
And they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think when they did that demo for Battlefront 2, that was the sign of it. And EA I feel like EA should have delayed that game and taken that stuff out. And we worked the progression system and everything.
Well, I think from the design perspective, it was from like, let's see how far we can push this, and whatever feedback we get, we have it in our budget to scale back. But they pushed too far, and people didn't like it.
And that's where the greedy part comes. It feels like they made that bar high so they could force you to pay them.
Yeah.
You know, and for a lot of gamers, that's not right. Mm-hmm. You know.
Yeah.
But so everybody, that's going to be it for Arsenal X this week. Thank you guys for tuning in. You guys can follow me on Twitter at @ThatRetroCode. You can follow Jesse at
_humanist.
You can find Corey at
you can find me at CoreyNHD on Twitter and Instagram. Woohoo!
Woo! Ooh, and you guys can email arsenalx at arsenalx@gmail.com and follow us on Facebook.
ArsenalXpodcast@gmail.com.
Arsenal X Podcast. I'm sorry. Thank you, boss. You can follow us on Arsenal X on Facebook.com. And also, we have an Arsenal X community on Xbox Live. So we'll give out more details about that. I got to fit everything into the show because our very own Corey is going to be taking a break some days. So he won't be on for some of the recordings. So it might be me, Jesse, and the guest, or it's just me and Jesse doing what we always do.
Yeah.
So everybody,
I'll put like all the links and stuff to everything in the show notes and stuff. So.
Yay. Just let everybody know, December 15th, I will be releasing NGR's buyer's guide. So you guys can email the show at arsenalxpodcast@gmail.com for games and accessories you guys would like to recommend. And also post it on our Facebook page. We want to hear what you guys think. To help people who are getting the Xbox One or getting the Xbox One S or OX, what games and accessories they may need for the system. Thank you guys once again. As always, we're throwing up the X and we're throwing it down. We'll see you guys next time on Arsenal X Podcast. Bye, everybody.
Yay.